Okay. All right. Okay, Brooke, thank you. So, where we left off where myself and Kamoji had just gotten the encrusted butterfly. The encrusted butterfly knows of Kamoji's spirit and came to Kamoji and crawled upon Kamoji's shoulder. Now, we're not really sure what's going to happen with that butterfly just yet. We also left Miss Zen, the most powerful wizard in all of the 7 realms, in the water realm, and she has been searching for the other stone that is in her tiara. Those 2 stones collided in the universe and formed her many, many, many years ago. It breathed life in her and made her the most powerful wizard in all of the realms. So there she is. Now, that crystal ball that she holds, she can actually send just like a text message in that ball to anybody she wants. And right now, she knows that Kamoji and myself have found the encrusted butterfly. She talks into the globe and she says what she wants us to hear. She sends the globe off, and the globe starts to float away. It's looking for us right now. And we're just leaving where we got the encrusted butterfly. We were about to head back to find Miss Zen in the water realm. And we noticed the globe coming at us. Kamoji lifts both of her squirrel paws up, grabs a hold of the crystal ball, and looks at it. And she says, "It's a message from Miss Zen." And the message said, "You need to go to the castle as quickly as you can. You'll have instructions when you get there." And we're like, okay, we've got to go to the castle. We go back out off the island. Thank you, Diane. We go off the island. We wave down the ship. The captain, Captain Maritza Lupita Montoya, has her men waiting for us at the shore. We get on the ship or we get on the rowboats and we go back out to the ship and we get on there, and Maritza meets us at the place where we get on, and we're telling her, look, we now have to sail to the castle. We have to go to the castle. And Maritza is like, "Anchor's up! Let's do this! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go!" So now we're headed to the castle. And we answer Miss Zen, the most powerful wizard in all of the 7 realms. We answer her and send the orb back. And so we're now on our way to the castle. Meanwhile, at the castle, Sam and her trusted Sparky the dragon are training. And how Sam trains Sparky is with magical grapes that only grow in a magical pouch that Sam is responsible for. And Sam takes a grape out and is playing with Sparky, and right now Sam's teaching Sparky how to aim flame and burn wood from afar, and how to take off straight up. And so they're training. What Sam's been noticing, though, is that Sparky has not been quite himself. She's not really sure what's going on. It's not the grapes, because the grapes are amazing and Sparky loves the grapes. So we're not really sure what's going on with Sparky. Well, Sam decides to take Sparky and fly him over to Buzz at the tavern where we first got Sparky. And, Pookie. And, they're now flying over Maritza. and they're now flying over to Buzz. They want to get an exam on Sparky. They want to know what's going on. So they fly down to the tavern. They land in the back. Sparky's a little bit too big to go into the tavern now. He's grown quite a bit. Sam gets off of Sparky and goes into the tavern and says, Buzz, I'm not really sure what's going on, but Sparky's not really himself right now. And so Buzz says, okay, let me come out and take a look. And, Buzz has got to shoo all the dogs and the little dragons all the way around. And just shooing them around and trying to get them, because, they're all over the place. Buzz has, a tavern, and the tavern is full of dogs and dragons. I know, it's crazy. So Buzz gets out there and does a little exam and puts her head on the dragon's stomach. She can hear something. She can hear another heartbeat. She says, your dragon is going to have an egg. It's going to be a big egg. And so she listens some more. And she says, I think it's going to be any time. So they take her out. They take Sparky and Sam and Buzz all go out to the barn where there's a lot of hay. And they get Sparky all comfortable, and then Sam and Buzz go into the tavern and they're talking. And Buzz says, I have this book. Buzz goes and gets the book and says, as she opens the book, she says, there's a tale about a dragon, just like the one that you are training, Sam, that's going to lay an egg. And that egg is either going to be used for good or for evil. And there are going to be forces that are going to try to get this egg. I think that once Sparky has the egg, how long this was going to take, because Sparky was needed, and that's why we came to, get Sparky better. And Buzz says, I have something that will make Sparky give us that egg. Buzz said, wait here. Buzz walks out to the barn. Buzz holds up her hands over the tummy of Sparky. And the next thing you know, Sparky's laying on his side. You could hear the breathing trying to get the egg out. Buzz is holding her hands, not touching the stomach, just holding the hands above the stomach. And the next thing you know, an egg comes out. It was the most beautiful egg you've ever seen. It was black, but dark purple, but dark blue. And it seemed to move. The colors just were so beautiful as they moved, very hypnotic. Buzz knew exactly what this egg was. Buzz knew that it was all about what she had heard and read about. She knew exactly what to do with that egg. Below the barn, there is a trap door. She opened up the trap door. She grabbed the egg, and the egg was the size of a watermelon. And what she knew was that this egg was going to start growing, because it's not the size of the egg this time. It's going to triple in size, maybe quadruple. Underneath the barn, and closes the trap door and knows that she'll be back to check on that egg. She's not sure how long it's going to take to hatch, but she knows she needs to be diligent and be there when it happens. She goes back into the tavern and she says, Sparky needs about an hour. We have the egg and it's hidden. And I think that in the best interest of the egg, you should not know where it's at, because you could be captured and made to tell where the egg is. Sam said, okay. They had, some bread and some ale and had a conversation, and were talking about what was going on with the world these days. Things are happening. They're not really sure what's going on. They can feel they could sense a change in the atmosphere. They could sense a change in what the world was going through. So an hour passes. Sam says, thank you so much for helping Sparky. We'll be back to check on the egg. She goes down to the barn and she grabs Sparky, and they fly back to the castle. And now they're back at the castle, and Sam is very protective over Sparky, and Sparky's a little bit drained right now, but seems to be in better spirits. The stomach's not hurting, able to be able to control the flying and the things that need to happen. So now we're on the ship and we're headed over that way. All of a sudden there's a huge storm as we're sailing towards the castle. And Maritza is yelling at her crew to batten down the hatches and grab the hoist and do the main and get the sails up and hoist all that. So they're all working and we're watching, and we're a little nervous. The waves are so big. They're pushing and pushing our ship. And we almost capsized. We almost went too far over one side. So as we come back up, Maritza is holding on to the wheel, guiding us through this massive storm. The next thing you know, in the clouds, you could see a light that just started shining. The clouds started to separate. As we looked up into the clouds, we could see everything. We could see the moon. We could see all the stars and the planets. And as it separated and we're looking up at the sky, the next thing we know, there's an orb that is coming to us, sent from Miss Zen. Kamoji takes the orb, looks up at the sky. We don't really know where this came from, but we know that Miss Zen has a message. Miss Zen said, all will become clear at the castle. All will become clear at the castle. I mean, could that be any more vague? Right? So Kamoji sends a note back and says, okay, all will be clear at the castle. So we arrive right outside the castle. There's the beach right there. Maritza lets down the little boats that are taking us to the beach. And as we look down in the water, I noticed what Kamoji needed to see. And I said, Kamoji, look in the water. There was a city under the water. Something we'd never seen before. Something that now we're going to take note of. An underwater city. We both look at each other. We know we will have to explore that. As we get to the beach and now we're headed up to the castle, we are now trying to find out exactly what it is that we are going to know as soon as we get to the castle. And Sam's there. And we greet Sam. It's beautiful to see her. We give her a hug. It's amazing. I can't even believe how good she looks and how big Sparky's become. And Sam says, we must talk. We sit down with Sam and we discover that Sparky had an egg. We discovered that Buzz is now hiding that egg because that egg is going to change the world. We don't know whether it's for good or for evil. But what we do know is that we need to gather Sparky and we need to get Sam. And we need to now start to go to we need to go to where the encrusted butterfly is going to lead us. Kimoji looks at the encrusted butterfly. The encrusted butterfly looks over at Sparky, and it's almost like they're talking to each other, the butterfly and Sparky. Well, I can tell you that me and Sam can ride on Sparky, but Kimoji got to know this is what we're supposed to do. And as we're flying over, we pass the castle where the castle's at. We're now over the second realm, and the second realm is the realm of the forest. And what we noticed was there was a whole bunch of fruit at the very top of these trees. And we all know what kind of fruit that is. Well, we fly over that forest. We're passing realm 3 where Miss Sin is, the water realm. We start to lower and come down, and as we are coming down, it looks like we're headed to realm 5. Realm 5 is a deserted realm. No one lives there. It has been vacant for as many years as I have been alive. No one has ever lived on that island. I'm not really sure why we're going there. We come down and we land on this island. No one's here. We look around. There's like a tree over there and some rocks over there. You can see down the way a little bit, there's a little river that is flowing into like a pond. It's amazing. It's a beautiful place. We're not really sure why people don't live on this island, but this is where the encrusted butterfly brought us. And the next thing you know, Kamoji turns around and looks. There's an orb that's coming towards her. As the orb comes towards her, she grabs the orb. It's a message from Miss Sin. Miss Sin says that we are to look for this elf Katsu is the only living creature on this island. We never knew. We didn't know that anybody lived on this island. So we all get down off of the butterfly, the encrusted butterfly. We get off of Sparky, the dragon. And now we start walking. We're looking for Katsu, the elf, who has the answers. So we're walking and we're walking. We're getting tired. It's getting so tiring. This realm seems to just go on. And we decide to make camp for the night. Sparky lights a fire in the campfire. I pull open my bag. I reach into the magical bag. Right here. I reach into the magical bag and I pull out some bread and some cheese. I pull out some dried fish and I pull out some nuts because Kamoji likes nuts. And we're having a really nice meal and we're sharing it with Sam and we're talking about what's about to happen. And the next thing you know, we hear a noise. And the noise, it's dark. And the noise is coming from right over there. It sounds like somebody scratching a tree. Like scratching a tree. We can hear it. It's not getting any louder, so they're not coming any closer. We're all holding our breath. We hear it again. The scratching on the tree. Sam says, I'm not putting up with this. Sparky grabs a grape out of her magic satchel. Sparky lights up the sky with the fire from his breath. We can see that there's something small by that tree. We can see that it doesn't really look very scary, but we're going to go with caution. We let Sparky go first. And Sparky walks over. Sam and Sparky walk over. They get to the tree and they look down. And it's a small elf. One of the smallest elves you've ever seen. Smaller than Santa's elf. So small that I could put this elf in my satchel. Is this a magical creature? We don't know. Sam bends down to pick up Katsu, the elf. And as Sam picks up the elf, it's the size of what fits in Sam's hand. Katsu looks up at Sam and says, "I've been waiting for you. I know exactly what we need to do first thing in the morning. Let's get back to the fire." Sam takes Katsu, the elf, back over to the fire. We share so many things with the elf, saying, about Miss Sin. And Katsu says, "I'm the very first person Miss Sin had ever met on any of the realms." We were taken aback. As far as we knew, Miss Sin had been always here. We didn't know of a time where Miss Sin was put here. We asked Katsu, "How old are you, Katsu?" Katsu says, "I have no idea how old I am. I have been in these realms all of my life, and I've known Miss Sin for most of my life." This was very strange to us, because we never knew anybody who was as old as Miss Sin, and maybe even older. Katsu, very wise elf, said, "We all need to get some sleep tonight. Tomorrow is going to be very trying. It's going to be very, very hard." So we all get to bed. We're all just about to sleep. And my satchel starts to glow. It's so bright that it wakes me up. I open up my satchel. I reach my hand inside, and it's the compass. And the compass is glowing. It's telling us where to go. It knows what we have to do. I wake everyone up, and I said, "The compass is telling us something." What? Are you kidding me right now? Oh! What? Are you kidding me? I love it. Oh my goodness, that was awesome. Heck yeah! What'd you think? I know, Kimoji, right?